Let's begin by telling you that Nigeria's Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetokun, has withdrawn the police officers attached to former Governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello. The order for the withdrawal was contained in a police wireless message. Bello was declared wanted by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission on April 18th after his absence from the Federal High Court in Abuja stalled his arraignment. The Nigerian Immigration Service had earlier placed the former governor on watch list after the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission declared him wanted in connection to an alleged case of money laundering to the tune of 80.2 billion naira. Earlier, lawyer and managing partner Bayo Sani and Co. Bayo Sani was on the news to talk about this.
If you look at what has played out since this whole drama started, it has become very necessary for the agencies of government to work together in ensuring that the next governor, that's Governor Yahaya Bello, is taken before a court of competent jurisdiction to face the charges that have been filed against him. And we should look at also that what started all this. We can't look at Governor Yahaya Bello as just being a fugitive that is trying to be on the run for nothing. He claims to have obtained an order of court from the High Court of Kogi State that gave him that gave an order against EFCC from arresting him. But there's a fundamental part in that order that says that he cannot be arrested until a warrant for arrest or charges have been filed against him in a competent court of jurisdiction.
The Nigerian army has released the arrested monarch of Ewu Kingdom in Delta State. Ewu was detained following his declaration of being wanted by military authorities and his subsequent submission of himself to the police and the state over allegations of being complicit in the killing of about 17 army personnel at Okwama community. The Director of Information of the Army spoke to newsmen at the Army headquarters in Abuja, saying ongoing investigations have not established the culpability of the monarch, though available evidence does not also exonerate his complicity. The monarch was released to the federal lawmaker representing Delta Central Senatorial District on the grounds he will be provided whenever needed. Nigeria's Defense Headquarters says it has arrested scores of terrorists and their collaborators in several local government areas in the nation's northeastern region of the country. The Director of Defense Media Operation, Major General Adedugba, says that troops will continue on its onslaught against terrorists and criminal elements with the highest form of professionalism and ensure that peace is restored back to the country.
Troops with hybrid forces arrested terrorist collaborators, logistics suppliers in Damboa, Biu, and Gujba, local government areas of Borno and Yobe states. Troops equally conducted cordon and search operations to terrorist commanders' hideout in Mubi local government area of Adamawa state and recovered arms and ammunition in that operation. Being a professional force, we carry out due diligence by way of intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance before conducting any airstrike. It must be understood that our operations have prevented these evil elements from accomplishing their strategic objectives. Troops will continue to apply intense military pressure on them to kill them or to cause them to surrender.
And now to politics. In the southwest of Nigeria, female aspirants in the Saturday direct primary election of the All Progressives Congress in Ondo State, Fumilayo Waheed Adekojo, has called on delegates of the party to ignore zoning and vote for her. The political arrangements in the Ondo State has always supported zoning since the return of democracy to the country in 1999. But Waheed Adekojo is of the view that zoning will not bring about competence and capacity in which she stood for. The female aspirant stated this during a press conference in Akure, the Ondo State capital, on Friday. The certified engineer then urged the leadership of the APC in Abuja to support her being a female and loyal member of the party.
I have always been of the opinion that the governorship ticket should not be given as compensation based on our arbitrary zoning arrangement, but on an assurance of the capacity of the candidate to provide visionary and inclusive governance that will help in wealth creation, agricultural, rural, and human development capital. If I'm elected as your party flag bearer in Ondo State, with my vast knowledge and experience in engineering, management, entrepreneurship, and procurement, I will announce the deep support to bring significant employment, acquisition of new skills by the labor force, increase internally generated revenues, massive infrastructural development, and complementing the free trade zone in facilitating the transit of goods and equipment in and out of Ondo State.
From every angle, you know that any one of the aspirants, they are well competent and qualified to lead the state. So none of them is not qualified, and that is why the screening committee clear all of them. So, and I know that whoever that picked the ticket and also face whoever that speak by PDP, they will do well for the state.
We want to go that will do us proud in this state, that will bring the circle of governance to everybody. If it's the person choosing, fine. You know, it's an APC affair, and this is a family affair. They know themselves. They know the pedigree, the powers, the characteristics of everyone. So if the APC are going out tomorrow to vote, maybe they have been voting, maybe they are going out to vote, they know they are insiders, they know everybody. So if they think he's the one capable, fine. If they think he's not capable, they vote him out. But this is politics. One person must win.
Joining us live from Ondo State, our correspondent, Niyi Omoniyi. Niyi, good afternoon. Glad to have you join me. Niyi,
good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Niyi, what's the mood like in the Sunshine State in preparation for the APC primary election?
Well, sir, I can tell you for a fact that the political awareness in Ondo State is huge. And that is big because when you see, it's just the primaries, but you will see the way the campaigns have been going, how everywhere, how people have been conducting themselves. You would actually think it's the general election, it's the Ondo election, which will come up in November, that's about to happen. Because everyone has been so in tune and, of course, informed as to what party or what candidates they want to vote for, or what aspirant, I'll put it that way, they want to vote for. But let's focus on the APC because they are the one holding their primaries come tomorrow. There are 16 candidates here, and one of the aspirants was the one we had on our screen earlier, which is the only female candidate, female aspirant in the party, which is one of the very few people who came from the north, because actually this has been zoned to the south, where we have majority of the aspirants. But I'm actually at the house of one of the major contender, of course, one of the major aspirants, Chief Olushola Oke, who unavoidably could not be able to attend this interview at the Diamond. But I have a member of his campaign team here, Mr. Ogule Rotimi Williams, who will be speaking on his behalf. Just help us understand. It's not the first time Chief is vying for this position. It's not the first time he's coming to the primaries. It's not the first, second, or third time. Do you think he will really have a chance this time around?
Well, the greatest asset he has is the fact that this is not the first time he'll be contesting. The fact that he's been contesting first, second, third time, it means that he has gathered experience, he understands the terrain, and he knows what to do at the right time and at the right moment. And the people who are going to vote, members of the party, they know him, they understand him, and he has been part of the struggle, he has been part of the political process. So all of this combined together is a political capital that made him in the past and now triumph and bettered over and above all other aspirants in the race. They all know, they know him. So we're banking on that.
But you do understand that even if he picks the ticket and becomes the flag bearer of the APC, he still needs to contend with other political parties. Do you see him going past that?
The question is, You have been in the state. Do you see any opposition around? There's no opposition here, virtually. And don't forget, this is a political figure that has been in the state in the last 30, 40 years, has been a part of our political history. So his candidacy, his personality politically, cuts across all political divide. So the moment he becomes the candidate of the party, opposition dies finally. I mean, they are down now. I mean, struggling to get breath. But the moment he emerges as the candidate of the party, then their funeral is at hand. Then they are gone. They are fused into the thin air. You will not even know that there is any opposition that is in this. As a matter of fact, the election is fait accompli if he becomes the candidate of APC. That is the fact. You can go out there, do your first pop, talk to people, and you will see what I'm saying. He is an household name in Ondo state politics.
But are you concerned, noting that the president has not given any nod as to what candidate he's choosing, or any body language signifying that he's either going for one of the aspirants so far?
That question, simple answer to it is the fact that the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has no military background, has no history of a despot or somebody who would just subvert the democratic opinions of others. So he's actually living his credentials. He earned that sobriquet and name of a Democrat. So a Democrat will always behave like a Democrat. He's been so neutral, he's been so fatherly, he has exuded the kind of political stature that really portrays his title as the #1 Democrat in the history of our political process in Nigeria. So that he is not making any statement has made the contest to be fair, to be just, and it has provided a level playground that you see in Ondo State. Every of the aspirants, they are doing well, selling their manifesto to the people. The only deficiency is that very many of them are hardly known, unlike the person of Olukayode Egbetokun. So, and that is what we are selling. So the president has allowed all of us to go to the field, go out there, sell yourself to the party members. So he's returning power of votes, power of shows of leadership back to the members of the party, to the people. It means when you pass through this process, seamlessly you are going to general election and you are almost done.
Thank you. You heard it from one of the members of the campaign committee of Chief Olushola Oke. And actually, we do understand that the APC will be conducting a direct primaries. And let me put it out there that while we don't know exactly if this will be conducted by words or by polling unit, we are still waiting for the person who, in the person of the Kogi State Governor, Ondo, who is still going to give the modalities of how this APC primaries is going to run. And of course, going to be assisted by the former Deputy Senate President, Ovie Omoagege, who is going to act as the secretary. We hope to have them in town today. And of course, we'll hear them talk and give how these primary elections will actually be conducted. But for now, we do know that most of these aspirants will be going over to their various communities to be there, of course, to signify their interest. And of course, we get to monitor what will come out of it tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Niyi Omoniyi, our correspondent right there live in Ondo State. We'll keep in touch with you, Niyi, in view of the APC primary election holding tomorrow. News Central Television held a town hall meeting with those affected by the recent Dosumu fire incident to hear firsthand what the present situation is like. We recall that fire razed some high-rise building in the market earlier this month. A Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, ordered the closure of the fire-ravaged Dosumu market, pending when structures around the market are declared safe for all.
I go there direct to face the fire with fire extinguisher. When I reach the first building to the actual building, I challenge with my own fire extinguisher. I use first one, I use the second one. When I got back again to go and get another fire extinguisher, I instruct someone to go and go to the office and be more fire extinguisher. What I noticed that the fire is not burning at the top. It's burning from the down. Maybe because of those things that they drop. So when I got there the third times with fire extinguisher, I see the fire is already beyond fire extinguisher power.
The incident, we really don't know how it happened, but it was under 2 to 3 minutes. Ajanaku really tried for hard with the fire extinguisher, but the thing is beyond every other thing. We don't really know what to say. I said pajamas, children pants, singlets. We lost everything at Pedro. Number 20, number 22, it affects us at Pedro. We lost our shops and we lost our stores. Every goddamn thing, we couldn't pick a pin.
Our job as the fourth estate of the realm is to make sure that we follow through on our promise and our commitment to make sure that the government does not feel comfortable. This is worrying what is going on live. Can the camera please capture? I would think that whoever has been assigned to do what we're seeing live on television will at least make sure that they look at the health and safety of the people around. I can see people in the building and I am concerned. Yes, they should get people to remove those people who are inside the building, and then that thing should be for the sake of health and safety of the people who are people of Nigeria.
And now to health matters. The Nigerian government has taken significant strides to enhance indigenous drug production, securing a substantial funding injection of over $1 billion. This development was disclosed by Dr. Abdul Mukhtar, the National Coordinator of the Presidential Unlocking Healthcare Value Chain Initiative. Currently, only 30% of health products in Nigeria are locally manufactured, with the market dominated by imports. The government aims to transform the country into a global hub for health product manufacturing through the Presidential Initiative for Unlocking the Healthcare Value Chain. The initiative aligns with President Bola Tinubu's vision to reshape Nigeria's healthcare landscape by increasing local production to meet 70% of medical needs. This would reduce costs and improve access to quality healthcare. And to unpack this, I'm joined by Vice President, Market Access Solutions, Advantage Health Africa, Yewande Adekoya. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me.
Hi, good afternoon. Nice to be joining you on this show. Thank you.
The pleasure is all mine. Let me start by asking what your thoughts are on this move by the government to increase local production of pharmaceutical drugs.
It's a welcome innovation and initiative. We look forward to it because one of the things that we have looked forward to is the investment of the government in the pharma manufacturing sector of the pharmaceutical industry. So this is a very welcome thought. We are happy about it, and we are just also looking forward to a seamless, effective, and impactful implementation of, this initiative.
If you could just share with me a little more how this will impact the pharmaceutical sector. Speak a bit more on that. How will this impact that sector?
Oh, great. Currently, the Nigerian pharmaceutical sector is dominated by importation. So it's about 70% import driven. So basically, the health products are sourced from foreign markets, and this makes us heavily reliant on importation. And this poses challenges, such as supply chain disruption, vulnerability to international market. And currently, just about 30% of the health products that we use in Nigeria are domestically manufactured. So this initiative is definitely going to revolutionize the pharma sector because it's going to, if it is properly implemented, by the way. So because out of the 30% of the locally manufactured health products that are used in Nigeria, I would say the larger percentage of the what we call APIs, the active ingredients, are still imported. So this is a very great initiative that we believe that will make medicines more affordable, will make medicines more accessible. Because sometimes the timeline between, the stock out of some medicines and importing those medicines back into the country sometimes takes as long as 6 months. For example, there is a particular medicine that we use that is very effective, a probiotic. And right from my practice days, and I'm talking about 7-8 years from now, since about seven or 8 years ago, that particular product has always been stock out. It's usually scarce, and it has always also posed problem because it's given room for more expensive probiotics. So these are challenges that we face in the pharma sector that this innovation is most definitely going to help us solve.
Let's talk a bit about standards now when it comes to medicine and drugs and this pharmaceutical sector. What are the challenges that need to be addressed to ensure our medicines meet the right standards?
Okay, great. So definitely we know that our medicines meeting the quality standard would help instill public confidence. And it's very crucial in also addressing the several challenges that we face, because one of the major challenges that we face with locally manufactured medicine is the quality of these medicines. So I definitely believe that this funding should not just be an investment into manufacturing medicines, but it should also be an investment into research and development capability and of the manufacturers. It should also be an investment in strengthening the regulatory framework, right, and also enforcing mechanism, leveraging technology, right, to ensure compliance to international quality standards. Definitely, this is going to be another wake-up call for NAFDAC, who, by the way, has been doing a very fantastic job, the regulatory body, the compliance body, to ensure that there is compliance to the standards of producing, manufacturing very quality medicine, albeit affordable and also accessible. Also, additionally, would be that continuous monitoring and evaluation of manufacturing processes and also product quality. Sometimes we know that there are recalls of products because, something was just discovered. So it's not just a one-time evaluation of the products when it's being produced, but when the manufacturers also know that there will be constant and consistent monitoring and surveillance of their manufacturing processes and also product quality, would help maintain standard and also build trust among consumers. While also I would like to iterate the use of technology and also data to track products, to track the effect of products, and also effective storytelling. If we are able to effectively tell the stories of the efforts that we put into ensuring quality medicines in the country, I'm much more confident that the public would gain our trust, and that would also help the demand generation of the locally manufactured products.
Hopefully, and thank you so much for your expertise on the news. Yewande Adekoya, Vice President, Market Access Solutions, Advantage Health Africa. Thank you once again.
You're welcome.
Public health stakeholders in Nigeria have called on government to harness the power of science in improving the nation's public health sector. And this was as they converged on the nation's capital, Abuja, to dialogue on how to improve access to affordable health care for all. Our correspondent, Joshua Imarayi, tells us more.
It was a gathering of public health stakeholders as they converged in Abuja. Experts and scientists from several parts of the country say this dialogue will appraise the nation's public health sector and seek to harness the potentials of science to improve access to public health.
The meeting is being facilitated by the CDC, Center for Disease Control Nigeria, and of course sponsored by the US government and its agencies, PEPFAR, UNAIDS, and so many other partners. So we're here to discuss and to brainstorm on the science, involving the health sector, because we need to get the data right, to get the science right, to be able to respond adequately to the needs of our people.
Experts commended Nigeria's effort in seeking to improve access to healthcare for all.
So I think Nigeria is poised to really see change in things that are important to people. So reducing child mortality, reducing maternal mortality through immunization, through identifying infectious diseases early so that they can be treated, through ensuring that we have every thing ready to prevent, detect, and respond to emerging threats that may be unexpected.
Some of them highlighted the challenges facing the public health sector in the country, saying government must resolve to tackling this headlong.
Naturally, whatever program you do, there are bound to be challenges, but they are not unsurmountable. That's why we're here. Solutions are provided here, and the solutions, when they are provided here, we go back and we take them up. A key thing is funding, and any program that lacks funding will not be eventually this. Then the political will, following your principles. I mean, the governors, you had one of the stakeholders talking about governors taking responsibility.
They also added that Nigeria can make significant gains if it continues to improve the health sector in the country. Joshua Imarayi, News Central, Abuja.
The news continues in West Africa, where Human Rights Watch has urged legislators in the Gambia to reject a bill aimed at reversing the ban on female genital mutilation, describing it as deeply troubling for women's rights. FGM has been outlawed in the West African nation since 2015, but lawmakers in March voted to advance a highly controversial bill seeking to lift the ban, sending it for committee consideration before a final vote. If the parliament adopts the women's bill in June, Gambia will be the first country in the world to overturn the FGM ban. The UN Children's Agency, UNICEF, defines FGM as all procedures involving the partial or total removal of the female external genitalia or other injury to the female genitalia organs for non-medical reasons. In South Africa, the South African police have arrested 8 Nigerians for allegedly attacking officers during a drug raid. In a statement issued on Friday, the police said the suspects were arrested in the Northern Cape province. The police said the suspect also damaged vehicles and other property. One of the suspects was said to have been arrested for illegal possession of drugs, and 3 others were arrested for public violence and detained at Kimberley Police Station. Police for Otola, police commissioner for the province, commended officers for the arrest of the suspect. Otola condemned acts of violence against law enforcement agents, saying those who prevent police from exercising their duties will be dealt with harshly. And to unpack this, I'm joined by President, Nigerian Citizens Association, South Africa, Frank Onyekwelu. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me. Mr. Onyekwelu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good day. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us. Let me start by asking, how does the recent arrest of 8 Nigerians for drug-related offenses impact the perception of Nigerians living in South Africa?
Let me first of all thank you for having me this evening, and I greet all the viewers. Nigerians, to start with, are peace-loving people and good citizens everywhere they are. Most people have this perception that Nigerians are only dealing with drugs, or Nigerians in South Africa are only dealing with drugs. But you will agree with me that many South Africans have visited Nigeria and can tell that Nigerians are very disciplined people, very hardworking people. Many of these people you see today that are doing some of these criminal activities are a few out of many that are doing legit professionals, doctors, lawyers here in South Africa. So I believe that a few bad ones cannot continue to dent the image of the Nigerians. However, I want to categorically say that many Nigerians that are here in South Africa are here for good, for the development of the economy of South Africa and the improvement of their livelihood. Hence, we have many in the medical industries, in the law firms, in the career areas, saving lives, improving livelihood of all humanity, contributing to the economic growth of South Africa and the well-being of Nigeria. So we are standing firm, flagging our flag higher.
Yeah, if I may, Frank, having said that, what steps are being taken by the Nigerian community in South Africa to address the issue of Nigerians being involved in criminal activities?
steps, you're asking about the steps that are being taken by Nigerians here in South Africa to address this.
Yes.
Let me establish this, that crime has no nationality. Crime has no nationality. And we are of the opinion that if anyone is caught involved in crime, the person should face the full might of the law. However, we as NECASA, Nigerian Citizen Association, have developed many teachings, communications to our people, educating them on the rule of law, and to avoid anything that is incriminating or anything that will dent the image of Nigeria as a very loving nation. And so we're doing that, rolling out seminars, workshop, teachings, addressing especially the minority that are engaging in some of these activities. We are reorienting their mind to choose an honest living and to do what the rule of law allows within the parameters of our host nation.
If you could just expatiate, Frank, you talked about the minority being sensitized and not engaging in illegal activities. If you could mention a few of such programs you have held and what the response or turnout has been like or was like, you know, so far.
The CASA has a program called Crime Awareness. It's a program where we educate the minorities, some of these ones that either entered into the country and get frustrated by friends or by the lifestyle they choose to follow. And you can agree with me, some of them even hide it from their families back home. They don't know what they are doing. And so we sit them down, we call them together in conferences, in meetings, in town hall meetings, engaging our consulate, our high commissions to educate them that there are honest business they can do. They can start up with small capital. There are other work, career work they can choose. There are other employments they can apply and engage in an honest living in order to maintain the rule of law within the host nations where we reside.
In closing, what's your message, Frank, to Nigerians in South Africa to prevent further tarnishing of the image of Nigeria as a country?
We continue to encourage all Nigerians to be law-abiding citizens, to respect the rule of law, to maintain the peace and the diplomatic ties that Nigeria and South Africa has. As much as I can say here that the information so far is still under investigation, we also, our consulate and our embassy has gotten involved to ensure that these people that are being arraigned as Nigerians, if they are true Nigerians, because we have seen situations where other nationalities commit crime and they are labeled as Nigerians, only to find out that they are not Nigerians. However, we are encouraging all Nigerians all over South Africa to be law-abiding, maintain peace, and follow the rule of law in every situation. We believe in the justice system of South Africa. We believe in the rule of law, and we are willing and available as NECASA, Nigerian Citizen Association of South Africa, to work with the government, to work with the police in order to ensure that any act of crime or any activity of crime is brought to book. And if there is any offender found guilty by law, should face the music. And we're also using this opportunity to plead with South Africans to stop painting all of us with the same brush. We have doctors, nurses, pastors, lawyers, career people, good patriotic businessmen that are doing honest and legit business here, that we believe that we will contribute to the development and the economic growth of South Africa. We will continue to do that. We will continue to pursue that. We love South Africa, and Nigerians are good people. And we are doing our best to make sure that our name, our image is rebranded and presented better and better every day. Thank you.
Well, indeed, we hope Nigerians all over the world, and not just only in South Africa, will be indeed great ambassadors of Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time on the news. Frank Onyekwelu, President, Nigerian Citizens Association, South Africa. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has refused to comment on reports of an attack by Israel on Iran, beyond saying Washington was not involved in any offensive operation. Speaking to journalists after a meeting with G7 counterparts in Italy, Blinken declined to answer repeated questions about explosion in Iran and reports that Israel had carried out retaliatory strikes. Speaking to reporters earlier, G7 host, the Foreign Minister of Italy, Antonio Tajani, said Washington had been informed in advance of the strikes without giving details.
The first question, the reports that you've seen, I'm not going to speak to that, except to say that the United States has not been involved in any offensive operations. What we're focused on, what the G7 is focused on, and again, it's reflected in our statement and in our conversation, is our work to de-escalate tensions.
Students and medical professors at the University of Buenos Aires have demonstrated against government cuts that have led many public universities to work without lights, with students taking classes outdoors. Authorities say if the budget is not updated in line with Argentine inflation, the University of Buenos Aires may have to close its doors before the start of the second semester. Argentina's President Javier Milei has expressed on several occasions on social media posts that public universities indoctrinate students with leftist ideology. Public universities in Argentina have called for a national university march on April 23rd, which is expected to be massive.
Es una tradición de más de 200 años. Tenemos una universidad, en esta en particular, que es la UBA, que está entre las primeras de Latinoamérica y es una de las 50 mejores del mundo, y en este momento está desfinanciada. No, de ninguna manera, no hay adoctrinamiento. Como en todas las universidades del mundo puede haber militancia política, pero de todos los partidos políticos, ninguno está vedado.
Es un riesgo porque la universidad pública forma profesionales de calidad a servicio de todo el pueblo y del mundo, y porque un país sin profesionales y sin científicos no puede progresar nunca.
Bueno, lo que es el decanato y la dirección de nuestra facultad particularmente declaró la emergencia presupuestaria, con lo cual se tomaron medidas para tratar de disminuir los gastos, sobre todo a raíz de una boleta de luz que llegó millonaria que se hizo impagable para lo que era el presupuesto con el que disponía la universidad. Tomaron la decisión de cortar la luz en las áreas comunes mientras sea de día.
British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has unveiled planned welfare reforms to end Britain's sick note culture in an apparent speech to keep conservatives in power. Sunak said the reforms were needed to tackle an unprecedented rise in economic inactivity and ensure benefits are better targeted, but they were immediately criticized by doctors and charities. Official statistics show the proportion of people not working in the UK due to chronic illnesses has soared this decade, with analysts warning it is putting pressure on the economy.
In the next Parliament, a Conservative government will significantly reform and control welfare. We don't just need to change the sick note, we need to change the sick note culture so that the default becomes what work you can do, not what you can't. Anyone who doesn't comply with the conditions set by their work coach, such as accepting an available job, will, after 12 months, have their claim closed and their benefits removed entirely. Because unemployment support should be a safety net, never a lifestyle choice. Now, of those who are economically inactive, fully half say they have depression or anxiety. And most worrying of all, the biggest proportional increase in economic inactivity due to long-term sickness came from young people, those in the prime of their life, just starting out on work and family, instead parked on welfare.
Finance Minister Wale Edun has announced that the federal government is contemplating lowering interest rates to stimulate investment and economic growth. Speaking at the World Bank IMF Spring meeting, he outlined plans to enhance government revenue through more efficient tax administration and oil revenues without increasing tax rates. The 2024 budget anticipates a 60% to 70% rise in total government revenue, reducing borrowing needs. Despite criticism, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has recently hiked interest rates to curb inflation and stabilize the foreign exchange market. The government and CBN are collaborating to stabilize the economy and make investment more affordable. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and First Exploration and Petroleum Development Company Limited have initiated oil production at the new OML 85 platform in Bayelsa State, targeting an average yield of 20,000 barrels daily. This move, confirmed by NNPC spokesperson Olufemi Shoneye, mirrors President Bola Tinubu's commitment to augmenting oil and gas production. The oil from OML 85, also known as Madu Field, will be processed at the joint venture Abigail Joseph Floating Production Storage and Offloading Unit. The decision to develop Madu Field and its neighboring field, Anyala, was taken in 2018. The start of production at Madu Field marks a significant stride towards boosting production to drive revenue growth and enhance Nigeria's economy. The Kano State Government, through the Acting Commissioner of Youths and Sports, Honorable Hamza Safiyano, has issued a decisive 3-game ultimatum to the management and technical crew of Kano Pillars Football Club. The ultimatum comes in response to the team's recent poor form in the ongoing 2023-24 Nigeria Premier Football League season. Kano Pillars have suffered 3 consecutive defeats against Bendel Insurance, Shooting Stars and Enyiba International, leading to 3-game ultimatum. The management and technical crew of Kano Pillars have been tasked with turning things around in the next 3 crucial games against struggling Gombe United, Akwa United and Doma United. An organization of Olympic Sports Federation has said the decision by World Athletics to award prize money to gold medalists in its event undermines the value of Olympics. The Association of Summer Olympics International Federations released a statement that made clear how unhappy it was at the announcement by the World Athletics President, Sebastian Coe, that track and field gold medalists at the Paris Games will receive $50,000. Last week, World Athletics President Sebastian Coe broke with tradition when it announced that starting this summer, gold medalists across 48 events on track and field program would split $2.4 million from the sports share of the International Olympic Committee's multi-billion-dollar income. And that's all on the news. But before we go, let's take a look again at some of the major stories. Inspector General of Police has withdrawn policemen attached to Kogi ex-Governor Yahaya Bello. Nigeria Defense Headquarters has released Delta Monarch detained over Okwama killings. Rights group has urged the Gambia legislators to uphold ban on female genital mutilation. Send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen and follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch us live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Adebola Adedugba.